There you go.
He's shy. This is Jack. I'm Dad. And Jack's a teenager and he is feeling horny. Look at that horn up there. We're going to put some horns on his Mitsi.
I don't reckon a copper will notice that one, eh?
You reckon it's hidden up there, Jack?
Yeah, they got lights, I got horns. Nothing different.
They'll be jealous. Your horn will be bigger than theirs.
So I've convinced the old boy to use his old compressor.
Convince me?
Yeah, to chuck it under the glorious Triton. See, it's shining in the distance with the sun.
Hi.
What does a Triton sound like with no muffler?
I'm looking like Tim. I got a mustache. Well, we've been working. The Triton is horny. Look at the size of that. Mounted under the bonnet. What else have you done, Jack? Do tell the neighbourhood.
The air from the compressor comes through into here, pumps up the tank, and then the air exits out through this part of the tank, through into your pressure switch there. What we had to do a bit of modification because of the thread difference between here and to the actual thing itself, so we put a reducer on and ran that off through a brass tee. And then this one here, this main valve here, well, not really valve, this part here, the brass, it runs through, that's where your compressor works off, and we got a backup main switch line that we're going to run through on this one here, and it'll run out through and pop out where the fuel cap is. So if you pull up at like a servo or something, you can just pump it up through there and save using a little compressor, taking it forever and ever to fill up. That one goes to your horn.
Ah, glad we got that sorted. Molly, does this make sense? She goes, I don't care. So, we've got Fireman Jack, looking very calendar ready. We got the Mitsi, we got the pressure switch, we've got it all. Good morning all. I have my beanie on, I have my overalls on and a tropical shirt underneath. Jack's gone to work, I've been left in charge, I think. I'll find out if I'm wrong when he gets home, won't I? It's friggin' cold in North Queensland, I don't know what the flippin' heck's going on, but it's cold. Anyway, so I'm left in charge today. Don't know what we showed you last night. Air horns are all melted. Look at that. Only a couple of things left to do there. We've got to put the battery back in and wire them up and some plumbing. This little air tank we're using, and all this it's like that with the compressor on top. A drain underneath, and you've got to have a drain, but this is going to actually sit around that way, and so the drain wouldn't work. You're not supposed to weld a pressure vessel if you don't know what you're doing, and well, I don't know what I'm doing, but anyway. Another thing is, Jack washed was covered in oil, and he's washed it all with Kero, so there's still some coming out. Now what I was told many years ago, what the common theory is, if you've got a weld something that's got fuel in it or fuel contaminants, it's a big word, you put an air hose in and purge it with air. I was told by another old bloke many years ago, you put a connect an exhaust up off a little motor or something and run it in because you can't burn what's already burnt. Well, I'm not getting out a little motor, we've got the airline and I suppose there's a big mushroom cloud, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll let that run for a minute. didn't go bang. Voila. Now, you probably should be fairly careful when you do it. It's a specialised trade, and I'm special in all the wrong ways. Anyway, welded on. That is, of course, upside down now. Good to go. There's Molly iron here in the shed. It's still raining. Jack Duke's still in bits. It's please excuse me. We'll get that back together. Jack's gone back to school with some air hoses on it. It's just about ready to go. That'll probably take me 3 days. Last time I was working on the tank, I welded this fitting in for the drain, because the drain is no longer at the top, it's on the bottom. But anyway, long story short, it wasn't a perfect weld. Well, I did it, so what do you expect? It's cocky shit. So I've had to go and burn some more holes and patch it up a bit more. So now, I've had some lunch, almost finished. We'll see the extremities of my incompetence. I'm going to pressure test it. Now, who knows how to pressure test a tank, a pressure vessel? I don't know that I really do. But I know you don't do it with air. Well, you do, but you don't. You fill it up with water first, and then you put the air in and blow it from there. So we'll do that. We'll put some bungs in the couple holes and fill it up with water and fill up with air. And the reason you do that is you don't get the explosive decompression, I think it's called. If something happens, it doesn't go kaboom and explode and tear a big hole in the tank, because the water can't compress. It's only a tiny little bit of oxygen that's left to compress, and the water will just squirt out. And it won't blow a big hole. Full of water, the bung in, the relief valve. If you need relieving, put the air hose on. I can hear nothing, but we'll have a look. I hear a small amount of air coming out. It's only coming out from the fitting up there, so I reckon we're cooking. It's leaking just here at this one. This one here is the one I was having trouble with, but there's no water squirting out. Alright, so I'll call that the result. It's sealed up, there's no water. We're at 100 psi, 110 psi. I think we're good to go. So yeah, we've got to put this one into back in there. I'm trying to think of what else I've got to do. I've got to set the pressure gauge, just a water gauge, not an air pressure gauge. So it's only set like 60 pounds. So we need to crank that up a bit to about 80, 90 pounds. Pressure test is done. Passed. I haven't blown up and didn't piss water out everywhere. Let's set the pressure switch to go on and off at it goes on at about 70 and off at about 90. A little 12-volt compressor, that's probably heaps. Put this puppy back in, under the Mitsi. See how we go. The pressure switch was leaking through the diaphragm. Fun times never end for me. So I got another pressure switch and got the diaphragm out of it. Even though the diaphragm looks okay, it's only a small amount. But this is like a old canvasy type diaphragm, because it's modern. That one's rubber. It's made in China. But this one doesn't leak. Tested in a bucket of water before we started. Oh, the fun times never end. And hopefully, that's the last of my leaks. Hey girls and boys, let this be a lesson to you all. This is why you don't do love jobs. Because they're just crap. You just get screwed over, work with crap to try to do something, try to make a silk purse out of that sow's ear. Pressure switches. Put the new diaphragm in, the second-hand new diaphragm for another piece of shit pressure switch, and then you've got to recalibrate it again. Then the quality second-hand air hose you've got to work with gets a leak. It just goes on and on. Oh, I tell you. The fun times. Anyway, doesn't sound like it's leaking anywhere now, so we'll give it a half an hour or so and see if the honker still hoots. And we're pretty much there. Horny Mitsi. Horny.